Let's go check out the Motovan. What, did somebody leave the... What? That's right, my friends. I have water. Let's check it out. Alright guys, I am finally starting to wrap up my water system build. So I'm going to break down this video. It's going to be, this is actually a sub-series of the Motovan series. I'm actually going to do one video on this, one video on that heating element, and then another video on what I'm going to do to actually be able to pressure wash my bike on the, after races and on the go. So 3-part series. I didn't want to cram everything into one. I'm trying my best to keep stuff short. So let's get right into it. So what you see here is the same setup that I had before. It's just upgraded. What I've been using previously was the Sceptor military style jerry cans. It's just previously I was just opening the lid and pouring things out, and then I had the Chinese submersible battery powered handheld shower. If I wanted to take a shower, I would just drop it in the other jug. That actually worked really well. I got to use that setup in its entirety at Bad Medicine. But obviously I wanted something a little bit more convenient and a little bit better quality. So what you see here is two separate systems. Before I get into it, why are you seeing jerry cans in the back of the van, and why not, like, say, an RV tank or a tank underneath and all the other stuff? So again, sticking with the theme, I wanted everything to be as modular as possible. So I didn't really want to affix a tank under the van for these purposes. The main reason is because I do ride in the winter time. It does freeze in the 30s and 20s and teens as I'm driving or as I'm staying overnight. So with that in mind, I didn't want the van's critical water systems to be outside the van. I want to keep it on the inside where I can keep everything nice and warm. Is it to say that I'm not going to add a tank? No, that's going to be another part of the video, or that another part of the video series that I mentioned, right? So what you see here is two separate systems that are modular and completely independent. So this is my drinking water system with the SureFlow nozzle, the ability to turn on and turn off with the switch here. And then we have the shower and hose system here, which is driven by the 12-volt SureFlow pump, which is mounted here. And then obviously that runs to a sprayer that I had on in the beginning of the video. But I wasn't fooling anybody. Obviously, you guys know that I've been working on this. So why did I choose this? I want things to be modular, as mentioned, and I want flexibility. So these tanks are 5 gallons, or actually 5.2 gallon as they're 20 liter. So that gives me the ability to grab them, remove them, take them somewhere, refill them, put them back in place. They're just held in with these straps, so super easy. All I did was independently powered it from my Goal Zero. You guys have seen my electrical system that I set up, that I have a distribution block up front under the driver's seat, and then independent wiring has ran for each fuse, powering both the SureFlow drinking water system and the pump, my SureFlow pump for my shower system here. So I'm going to actually break to a quick portion to where I show you guys what's going on inside of the tanks themselves. Alright my friends, now we're going to look at each one of the tanks individually so I can get you guys a close look and see how things were assembled. So this is obviously the shower slash utility tank, if you will. This is, like I mentioned before, this is going to be pulling from the 12-volt SureFlow water pump. It's going to be for showering, rinsing, doing dishes. If I need to spray off my feet, spray something off really quick in the back of the van. Straightforward, right? So I started, as mentioned, with the HPC coupler. These couplers are really great quality. And as I also mentioned before, you'll notice that I cut and rounded off the keeper that is on these, and I did that really just for ease of use. Being able to open this up and not have to worry about it. I could do it one hand, I could do it with something in my hand. It's just a lot easier. I don't necessarily need the keeper, so to speak. So what I did do here, you will see, is it's pretty straightforward on the inside. I have the same flex 1/2-inch hose going down, but you'll also notice there's an aluminum rod there. So why did I do that? Well, it's because I have the 300 watt heating element in the bottom of the tank. So with the heating element in there, this is a plastic USDA safe drinking tube that's good to go. However, it's plastic, so I know that 300 watt element's going to get very hot. So I got it to where it's crimped in place, and whenever you put the lid in and snug it down, it puts the pickup all the way in the back corner. It's actually this left corner here, all the way back in the corner, and then it's snugged down. So it's away from the 7-inch probe, which lands around close to the middle right there. So the probe, it should never touch the heated probe whenever I'm heating up my water. So that is pretty much how I did that. This was an 1.25-inch stepper bit, super easy. You guys just get a stepper bit. They're really, really handy. And then the backside nut, and then there's the silicone, or I'm sorry, the gasket that goes around it that comes with this. These couplers are fantastic. Colder is the company, and all the links will be obviously in the description. That is the utility tank. The only power I need is the front end positive negative. It won't matter which way it goes on there, just because it's a resistor diode. 300 watts, 12 volts, 25 amps. So it's a good bit of draw for 12 volts, but it's going to be worth it. So moving into the tank that I drink from. So this is my drinking tank, as you guys have seen. I just want to show a little bit more up close of what it looks like with the lid off. So one thing about it, I did do the extra length cable so that I can essentially take this tank or drag it across the van or whatever, and it does have the traditional SAE plug on the end, so it's pretty versatile overall. You could do it SAE to 12 volt or any kind of other adapter. You could either easily make or buy that adapter. So here's the pump and the assembly that we can see right here. There's really not much to this, guys. As mentioned, C-Flow 280 liter per hour tank with that's actually a 1/2-inch output barb, so that's 1/2-inch ID, and this is a 3/8 hose. So all I did was boil a pot of water and use that flexible drink safe hose, get it nice and warm, and then it slipped on to the 1/2-inch outlet. It seems to be in great condition. So this is the 3/8 outlet from the SureFlow nozzle that we mentioned before. You also notice that I have these stainless steel clamps on here. These are the stainless steel Oetker clamps that I've used before. I've dealt with Oetker clamps a good bit. Fantastic. I love it. And because they're 304 stainless, they are safe for drinking. And then you'll also notice that from the inside, the wiring from the switched faucet goes back up out with the pump wiring to get wired together to be on the outside. So all of it is safe and concealed. Doing this one hand, which frankly isn't that bad. Gotta love these Sceptor cans. So that snugs it down. And then, as you guys saw before, it's totally adjustable. One thing I do like about these Sceptor cans, obviously I have to vent this. You vent it when it expels water. Whenever you get to your destination, you vent these, and then before you take off, if you forget to, it's probably not going to leak much. It's a very small hole, but it's enough to vent it. Probably on the way out of a riding or racing weekend, the tanks would be closer to empty. So those are the separate. That's a closer look of the separate tanks. One last note, I will say that the C-Flow pump did come with a very long bit of cable, so I decided to hold on to it and keep it, and that's what kind of made me, you know, figure, hey, why not just keep the wiring on there? I can still plug it in to my power outlet on the van, but if I want to move the tank around, say I'm cooking over on my side doors and I just want to have the water there, I can disconnect it and slide it over and it'll be that much easier. So no big deal to just leave a little extra connection on there. Also, if I wanted to power it separately with a battery or any kind of outlet, then I could use that SAE plug, as mentioned before. So that's a closer look with the individual tanks. I just wanted to get a little bit more in depth. I did not take video as I was building these. All the links will be down in the description. More than happy to answer any questions that may come up, but overall, guys, this stuff is really easy. This is not my original idea, so I'll put a video in there where a guy does the how-to on I think one guy thought of it and there's another 15 videos on the same thing, so found it on YouTube nonetheless. All right, pretty straightforward. Again, this isn't really a how-to. It's just kind of a showing you guys about this. More than happy to answer any questions. So for this, obviously, my drinking system, this SureFlow adjustable nozzle is super cool. I gotta say, I absolutely love it. Everything that I used was obviously USDA approved for drinking water. That's a really big part of it. In fact, all of the entire system I can drink from, which is really great. For power, for the drinking portion, I actually have a little SAE plug here that I wired into the van itself, into the body. It's awesome. Leaving the skeletal structure in the van, it just continues to just provide little nooks and crannies to do stuff. So really cool. As you guys obviously can tell, I left extra cable, like I mentioned before, to be able to slide it around or move it around if I so chose. And then obviously the SAE plug, just to be able to hook it up to an independent battery source if I wanted to go mobile with it, or my wife and I were tent camping or something like that. So being stored as I'm driving, the nozzle on this SureFlow nozzle just folds down. Again, this is a switch source, so it does a really good job. With this guy, nothing to it, right? So as I mentioned before, as you saw, this is a valved quick connect. So all I have to do is disconnect it, pull the securing straps off my tanks, and then I can either go fill it up or run a hose to it. But I really, really like this design. Again, obviously, you guys, as you know, links will be in the description. This is not cosmic, but I wanted to show what's going on with everything. So this is the 1/2-inch outlet, which feeds the 90, which goes into my SureFlow tank. I'm sorry, SureFlow pump. And then this rubber bracket right here, I actually found on Amazon. That'll be a link in the description too. These little rubber holders are really cool. There was already a hole in the actual carcass or the structure of the van, so I didn't even have to do anything. I just added a bolt and a nut on the side and it worked perfectly. So wiring up was really easy. I ended up just adding elongating. There was already a hole here, so I just plugged in. This is switched ground, so power is constant, ground is switched. This is 1/2-inch out to a 90, 1/2-inch going to 3/8, going to this guy, which is 1/4. I may clean this up a little bit, but as long as it proves to be reliable, I'm not too worried about it. All stainless steel Oetiker clamps and stainless steel coupler reducers, 304 stainless. So it is all drinking safe. In fact, my nozzle here that you guys can see, this is actually a kitchen nozzle, not from an actual shower. So in any case, it's switched, so this shuts off and I'll turn on the power. So power's on, but as many of you guys know, the the RV pumps they have a switched pressure sensor, so there's nothing coming out, so I can adjust it to full and then cut it off. Another really cool thing about this nozzle, it actually has 2 settings, one on the end there too, and look at that. So I could literally fill up my bag or drink from this if I so chose. And then I just kill the power, let the pressure off of it, and then it just goes back in place. So this was actually a really cool find. I really like this nozzle. I was a little concerned. I had a hard time finding something that was going to work just right. So with the holder here, because I'm using my plastic here, it's a nice smooth surface. This is just slightly sticky, and then it locks in like a suction. We'll see how it holds up, but man, I'm getting attacked here. Die! All right, so we'll see how it holds up through the bumps and things like that. Obviously, if it doesn't, I can bolt it down, I can 3M tape it, I can do whatever I need to do to make sure it's in place. Oh, and obviously, check it out. As I shut the door, it gets a little dark in here, but this system just rides right there. It may or may not be a little noisy. I haven't really driven with it, but it's kind of just chilling right there. And just one thing that I can do is just make sure that as long as the hose doesn't against it, it should be good. And then opening it up puts 0 stress on anything. So let me show you guys the curtain that I have. All right, so as you can see, this is the curtain. Basic shower curtain. I got a cloth one, didn't want plastic. 550 cord, which is just looped through and then knotted to where it's the right length. And then using the magnet hooks that I've been using. These magnet hooks are amazing. Link in the description, of course. So this is my curtain setup, and then ultimately the shower, which I will be able to use right here. There's just enough space. It's not a super plentiful amount of space, and I'm not really concerned about getting water on the bumper. It's a van, it's fine. This is rubber and plastic and stuff, so no big deal. So this curtain I have had this curtain. It's been used before. I used it with the previous setup that I mentioned with the battery power. It's pretty good. I shower on a windy day. No issues, right? So the key with this is I don't get completely naked. I just shower in running shorts, which is pretty much what I wear as an undergarment anyway, aka the Ranger panty. So I'm always just either in flip-flops or whatever the case may be, and then showering off, cleaning up after a hardcore race, and then getting back after it. So this is the setup, guys, and I'm really happy with how everything turned out. So 2 pieces to this. Would I have done anything different? As of now, no. Everything looks really cool. There is one thing that I wanted to do that I didn't do. This coupler right here, I actually bought 2 of them. What I was planning to do was use that and actually place the outlet right here so that I could quick connect with my nozzle if I so chose, and just pull it off and stow it or whatever the case may be. The reason I didn't do that is because I didn't want water lines to be hidden back in this pocket. Even though there is space back here and I probably could have made it happen, if there was a leak, I didn't want water running down to the inside of the van without me knowing about it. Even drops over time would add moisture to the inside of the van. I don't want to deal with that. So I wanted every water line to be visible and every fitting to be visible, and I think it turned out fine. So I was going to do that. I decided not to. This is a simpler setup, maybe not quite as Gucci, but nonetheless pretty cool. So the other piece is, do I need an accumulator? So I might. You guys probably noticed whenever I turned the nozzle down on low, just for that nice smooth stream, the pump kind of pulses a little bit. These pumps are really designed to run with a small accumulator, which is nothing more than a little water pressure tank. I may add an accumulator. If I do, the accumulator will just go up here and I can mount it in place. I don't know if I'll need it. It's a small annoyance. It's probably not worth the extra time and money. It's really not hard on the pump. It's just literally the performance is what it comes down to. So those are the two things that I may or may not end up doing, but yeah, we'll see. No big deal. Overall, I'm very happy with it. So alright guys, that wraps up the water system. I hope you guys enjoyed it, get something out of it. If you have any questions, again, just ask. I'll help every bit that I can. Alright guys, get out there, get on two wheels, ride a dirt bike. This is Accelerate once again, signing off.